Instagram direct messaging. Let's talk about the do's and don'ts. As someone who has a relatively larger social media platform, I get unsolicited DMs every single day to the point where we have a whole library of screenshots. And so I decided to kind of compile all these screenshots into this video and give you concrete examples of what not to do when it comes to soliciting someone for your services on Instagram and what to do instead. Now, Instagram direct messaging is something that I cover in my paid program, the Bossgram Academy, way more in depth. We give our students the scripts, the training that it takes to help them actually convert their followers into clients. And so if you want a taste of the method that we teach when it comes to social media strategy, definitely check out our free training at www.followerstoclients.com. Inside, we talk about content strategy, social media funnels, all these different things. So definitely make sure you check out this free training too after this video if you haven't already. Link is in the description and in the comment section below. Now for this faux pas, I'm gonna give you two examples and we're gonna look at them and why it doesn't work out. So the first one is sent by this person who wanted to solicit me for VA services. And this is how it goes. Hello. First of all, they didn't use my name whatsoever, which also tells me that this might be something that they are copy and pasting to other people. Hello, you probably haven't considered this yet, but I was wondering if you ever think of hiring remote workers or virtual assistants to help with you and your business. Maybe you can consider this. We can help with lead generation, virtual executive assistant, social media marketing, web design, video editing, customer service, others, blah, 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 and all of that. Now this person does seem nice and it does sound like they have good intentions, they want my business and all of that, but here's the problem. It's really clear to me that they have not done their research, because if they did do their research, they would already know that I have a video editor, that I have a social media manager, that I have basically all of these things that she's pitching. And so to me, it comes across that she didn't do any research on me at all. And like I mentioned earlier, the fact that she didn't even use my name tells me that this is something that is a canned response that she has been copying and pasting to other business owners. And so obviously, with all of this said and done, I'm not gonna respond to this message. And so I hope that this gives you a clear example of what I mean by not doing research on someone. Because if you really wanted their business, you would make that effort to actually research them by looking through their content, looking through their blogs, looking through their stories, or at minimum, read their actual Instagram bio and go through their website and actually learn more about what they truly might need from you as a service. Now, the second one that I want to show you when it comes to not researching someone enough is an example via email. However, a lot of the things that I'm about to say and critique on apply to direct messaging as well. And the reason why I'm choosing this particular example is because if you actually look at it, it's a pretty good pitch. But this person made a critical mistake and I'm gonna show you why. Now this person flattered me a little bit and said, love your brand journey. So of course, I might click that. They also address my name and it shows that they have done some research. This person specifically mentions that they checked out my website, read through my brand journey, and all of that. So they're telling me that they did research on me, which is helpful, which is exactly what I'm talking about. Not only this, it's really cool that they were able to actually tailor the message slightly, so I kind of can tell that it's not a canned response. For instance, this person says, I enjoyed reading about how you went from being a corporate escapee to seven-figure CEO and how you began to attract thousands of fearless action takers worldwide after months of figurative and literal grinding. Blah, 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 blah. Love your brand, Vanessa. Ooh, that makes me feel really great. But this is where they fell short. This is what they said. One thing I noticed was that you don't have a proper automated sales funnel in place. As the founder of Blank Agency that helps coaches like yourself set up funnels and back-end automations to scale your coaching programs to six-figure months, I couldn't let the opportunity pass. Now, the reason why this email fell short, despite the beginning being so strong, is the fact that, again, it shows to me that even though they say that they did research, they actually did not, and it makes them look even worse. Because my business does have an automated funnel in place, and also my coaching business has already scaled past six figures per month. And so being that this is an agency that helps you set up your automated funnels and that's positioning themselves as the true experts, it actually doesn't look favorably on them that they completely missed the fact that I do have an automated sales funnel in place and that a lot of my backend systems does exist. And it also comes across as borderline insulting because on one end, they're trying to butter me up, but on the other hand, it's really clear that they have not done any research whatsoever. And so definitely make sure that when you are pitching your services, that you do a lot of research on the person before you actually pitch. And also, don't just say that you've done your research, but actually do your research to the depth, especially if you're gonna claim that you've done a lot of research on that person. Because the thing is that even though some of you might think, well, that person might not have known that you have an automated sales funnel in place, or maybe that person might not have known that you actually have scaled your business to six-figure months, that can be true for some cases, but for this particular case, a lot of the information is available online. I report my income and I tell people how much money we make in our business in my YouTube channel, in my Instagram. It's really easy to be found. And also the automated sales funnel can also be found if you actually watch through my content and enter my email sequences in the first place. So that is why this particular pitch just did not work out for that person. Now let's move on to the second no-no, and that is not personalizing your pitch and not taking no for an answer. Here's an example of someone who pitched to me in my DMs. They said, hello, did not include my name, and immediately jumped into a question. Would you like to grow your Instagram page with engagement of followers and reach out to maximum number of people and get more attraction? In which I replied, no, but thanks for reaching out. Then they say, why so? Is there an issue? They then proceed to send me a Social Blade link, and then they say, as I check your details in our system, you're under grade B-. I'll help you achieve A+. Honestly, dear, your profile should not be under A+, and you know why you're not under A+? Because your content's not reaching maximum people. Yada, yada, yada. And so here's the problem with this DM, is the fact that number one, this person did not personalize anything at all. Not only did they not address my name, but they also just immediately assumed that I needed help with Instagram engagement. They didn't say anything about, hey, I looked at your profile and I noticed that you get maybe XX% of engagement. Did you know that people with a similar audience size to you actually get double the engagement? That would have maybe hooked me a little bit more if they actually personalized that message and showed me exactly what my problem is and what solution they have for that specific problem that they saw by researching me a little bit more. Now, that's not the only issue with this DM pitch. The second issue is that after I said no, they just kind of kept pushing forward to the point where they kind of offended me. So not only did they say, why so? Is there a problem? They then pulled up analytics finally, but they weren't really approaching it in a way that made me feel like they truly understood my needs. Through this, there was no conversation whatsoever. They didn't ask detailed questions, they didn't do research, and at the same time, they decided to kind of give me a backhanded advice on how to improve my Instagram page, which completely destroys rapport. So this is a clear example of things that you should not be doing when you are pitching someone in the DMs. Now, some of you watching this, you might be thinking, oh, Vanessa, you're so sensitive. That person wasn't trying to offend you. You should have thicker skin. Fair enough. But the one thing that you have to realize when you're pitching to people on DMs is you should never assume what their problems are. And you should focus instead on having a conversation so that that problem comes out of their end, not you. Now, a good example of this is another DM pitch that I got. It says, hello, my name is blank. I don't usually do this, but I am picking up things have been strange in love for you recently. Spiritually, you have been stuck, feeling like you take one step forward and 3 steps back. Someone you cared for stabbed you in the back. I really would love to read for you and see what's going on. Let me know if you're interested in some more info. Heart. Do you see how this can be really offensive because this person is automatically jumping into my DMs, we've never spoken before, and they're already telling me that I have problems in my relationship. That is really inappropriate, and it makes me feel, number one, weirded out, and number two, just kind of angry and upset that this person would make comments on my relationship when I haven't even talked to them about my relationship or said anything related to that or had any prior engagements with this person. And so when you're pitching to someone in the DMs, when you're already assuming what their problem is, it can easily come off as rude and offensive, and you definitely don't want to be doing that. So make sure you keep watching this video because later on in part 2 of this video, I'm going to cover what to do instead. Moving on to the next example of what not to do when you're pitching someone into the DMs, and that is only talking about what's in it for you and not the other person. And so here's an example that I have for you. This person says, hello, again, not addressing my name. I'm the marketer of blank company. I'm writing this letter in accordance to the new product, the series of smart homes my company is launching. Smart switches, smart plugs, smart bulbs, smart LED light strips, smart power strips, smart table lamp with high tech and good quality. We will offer you a free sample to showcase on your YouTube channel. Please let me know how we can collaborate. As I'm reading this, I'm just kind of like, number one, you clearly have not personalized this message. Number two, you did not do any research on me, because why would smart plugs and smart bulbs and smart LED light strips have anything to do with the type of content that I typically do on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram, or whatever else? And also, literally 90% of that text is what's in it for them. My company launched this. These are all of our products. This is what we're doing. We would like to post on your channel. Let me know if we can collaborate. It's a really one-sided pitch. It doesn't tell me anything about what's in it for me. It doesn't explain how their products and services could benefit my audience or my channel, or any evidence that they researched my audience or my channel at all. And so naturally, I'm gonna be ghosting this DM. And so as you can see from these examples, this is just a small example of the DMs that I get all the time, but I have a feeling that a lot of people do this because they lack the self-awareness and the strategies and the etiquette of how to actually approach people in the DMs. So now that we've covered part one of what not to do, let's actually cover part two, where I give you actionable steps so that you can walk away with the strategies to get visible on social media and get paid using sound business strategies from me. So let's start with the first tip of what to do, and that is do your research. I already said this earlier on in the video, so I'm gonna skim past this, but at minimum, what you should be doing is actually reading their link in bio, clicking the link in that bio, whether that leads to their website, their YouTube channel, their podcast, consume some of their content, and actually understand what niche are they in, what problems do you foresee, kind of do a mini audit of what you see so far based off of their free platforms, and actually make sure that you know what you're talking about and how you can link your products and services to their needs and wants based on the research that you've done. And of course, through that research, as you are sending these DMs, make sure you actually personalize it. The minimum thing that you can do is at least address their name and make sure there are no typos in their name, because that's even worse. And also linking it back to what you've researched on them. So for instance, the email example that I shared with you, even though it was a no-no in my eyes, the way that they started the email was actually quite nice, by really buttering me up, telling me what they researched, what they appreciated about my content. That's a really awesome way to actually build rapport with people. The only downside to that email example that I gave you is that they kind of gave away that they didn't really do research on my business. And so make sure that you actually do research and not just say you did the research. The next thing that you also want to do is build rapport. Understand that a conversation or a relationship is not built overnight. And especially if you are cold pitching people, meaning that they've never talked to you before, your chances of actually getting someone to respond to you is even less. A lot of the examples that I shared with you were all cold pitches. I've never talked to these people before, and so that's why building rapport is essential. And so what exactly does building rapport look like? Well, it can look like actually watching their stories and reacting to them, commenting on them, liking their posts, but also engaging in the comment section so that they see you in their notifications. If they have other communities, join those ones. So for instance, one of my previous video editors, I actually hired them because they were a part of my community. I remember when I reached out into my community and I said, hey, I'm looking for a video editor, that person actually reached out and said, hey, I've been in your community for a while, I've watched all of your videos, I would love to edit videos for you. And naturally, of course, I chose someone who was within my community versus someone who has never interacted with my community at all. And so that's why building long-term relationships is super important, because even if that person doesn't see value in your services right now, months down the road, they might actually choose you over someone else because you have demonstrated that you understand their community inside and out, and that you've been engaging and participating in the community that they've built on social media. Now, of course, if you are going to be engaging in their community and building rapport with them, naturally, because now they are aware of your existence, they are going to creep your profile. So that's why a really big part of making sure that you close the sale or you do whatever you need to do when it comes to the DMs is your actual content game is strong as well. For instance, your Instagram bio should be really clear about what you help people on and what problem you solve. And if you have any questions about how to optimize your Instagram bio space, make sure you check out this video that I have right here that kind of walks you through it. And also make sure your content itself is content that builds demand, content that actually shares your client testimonials, shares social proof, actually talks about the services that you offer, talks about all these different things. And if you have any questions about content that builds demand, I have a full dedicated training on this. Make sure you visit www.followerstoclients.com. This is a 90-minute training, and I actually give you some of my paid strategies that I teach my own students inside the Bossgram Academy about how to create content that actually makes people want to buy from you. So again, visit www.followerstoclients.com, register for that training to snag the strategies that we show you in terms of building content that creates demand for your paid offers. Because at the end of the day, if you are engaging in someone else's community, chances are that they're gonna go straight into clicking your profile and checking you out. And so if they start seeing amazing content on your end, they get a good understanding of your services, they see your social proof and all of that, there's gonna be a high chance that they actually engage back with you, DM you, and ask you about your services. So no longer do you really need to cold pitch people, and instead people are coming to you because your content game is so strong, and when they visit your profile, it's very clear on the problem that you solve and also what services you offer. Now, moving on to the next thing that you should be doing when it comes to creating amazing conversations in the DMs is to never, ever assume what another person's problems are. You wouldn't do that in real life, and so you shouldn't be doing that on social media. It is very, very offensive and rude if you don't have the full picture and you're trying to speak for someone else. And so, what should you be doing instead? Well, watch this. Hey girl, I noticed that you've been posting about being stuck in your business. That really sucks because I can imagine that you're probably so burnt out. And I remember when I started my business, I was crying every single day because I couldn't get any sales. I want to do you a favor actually. I actually offer free 30-minute training sessions to help people like you overcome slump in sales. Here's the link. All right, so let's dissect that conversation for a moment, or lack of conversation, I should say. What the problem is number one, that person didn't address the name, so they said, hey girl, which can be kind of, some people might not like it. I personally don't love it. Another thing is this person is automatically assuming that that person is stuck in business based off of maybe a story they saw or a post that person wrote, but it's still not enough, and it can come off as really judgmental. Another thing that's the problem is this person immediately talked about themselves. And so again, that's something that you wouldn't really do in a natural conversation with your friends. Imagine if you took over the entire conversation. If you wouldn't do it in real life, you definitely shouldn't be doing it in social media as well. The next thing is you're already diagnosing the problem and offering a solution without actually having a conversation. So when this person says, I want to do you a favor, I actually offer free 30-minute strategy sessions, here's the link, that is completely unsolicited. Nobody asked for the link, nobody asked for the service. And so because of that, this is not gonna fly for the other person, and it's just gonna end up looking really sleazy. So now that we've dissected what was totally wrong with that type of conversation or lack of conversation, like I said, let's look at what you should be doing instead. Hey Name, I saw your post about feeling stuck in your business. I hope everything is okay. Let me know if you ever want to talk about it. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for reaching out. Yes, it's been really, really tough. I have felt pretty lost in my business lately, but I know I'll get through it eventually. Totally. I remember when I started my business, I was feeling quite lost too. If you don't mind me asking, what's causing you to feel lost? Well, the sales are coming, but I just feel so suffocated in my business. Like I can't even catch a break. I'm making the money, but I just hate what I'm selling. And so as you can see with the second example, it's a lot more productive and it's a lot more natural of a conversation. You're not coming in out of the blue, and instead you're saying, hey, I noticed that you posted something and I wanted to let you know that I'm here for you. Let me know if there's anything that I can do to help you. It's coming from a supportive place, and you have evidence that this person has posted about something regarding that. So it's not necessarily completely blindsiding them and risking offending them, because it might come across as you automatically assuming that that person is feeling lost. But more importantly, you're actually taking a step back to ask questions. So for instance, not only are we emphasizing with the person, but we're also digging deeper once they actually open up, because again, you want this to be a conversation. And this is when we say something like, hey, what's causing you to feel this way? And as you can see from the response, the problem is actually completely different from what we originally assumed. In the first skit, we assumed that the person was not making any sales, and we projected those assumptions within our DM pitch. But the second variation of this conversation, that person actually admits that it's not really a sales problem. It's a different problem. This person is making the sales, but they're just not feeling aligned with the business that they've created. That's where you can actually really dive deeper into this conversation and eventually bring up the fact that you have some services that can help that person with it. And so as you can see through conversation, you're able to actually truly understand what the problem is. And the best part is that you're not assuming what the problem is, and that problem is coming from the recipient. That problem is coming from the other person. They are verbally telling you what is wrong, and that way you have all the information that you need to come up with a solution for them, or at least offer some help. And that help can come in the form of your paid products and services, or maybe even you linking back some examples of your other clients or other customers of yours who have gone through the same thing. And as you can see from the second conversation, because we're diving a little bit deeper on where the problems are coming from, and most importantly, we're not making any assumptions on the problems, and all of the problems are coming from the other person, you're gonna be able to really diagnose the situation and tailor your response. And once you tailor that response, that person is gonna feel way more heard, and not only are you building rapport, but you're also actually setting yourself up really well to introduce your paid products and services down the road, or even within the same conversation. It really depends on where you feel that conversation is headed, but most importantly, make sure that on your actual Instagram page, whether that's your highlights, your link in bio, your bio itself, and your content alone, it really makes it easy for that person to understand what you offer, because that DM conversation alone is really gonna warm them up. Anyways, in this video, I really broke down the do's and don'ts when it comes to DM strategy. And don't forget that in my paid program, www.bossgramacademy.com, I actually go through DM strategy way more in depth. We have a full lesson on it with all the scripts and everything like that. We cover both inbound DM conversations and outbound DM conversations. So if you want to learn more about my paid program, visit www.bossgramacademy.com. As always, guys, I post a lot of content on social media, marketing, entrepreneurship, and coaching, so make sure you visit these two videos that I have right here. If you like this video, you'll definitely love these two. I say this every week, but I really appreciate you watching this video. I hope you learned a lot from it. Make sure you thumbs up this video if it helped. I hope you guys have a great day, a great week, and a great life, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys!